The Neighborhood Part 4. Xavier's face was thin and pale, his eyes darting nervously between the darkened houses. His clothes were worn and torn, and his trembling hands clutched an old notebook. "You shouldn't be here," Xavier muttered. "It's not safe." "That's why we need your help," Lucy said. "We heard someone. They said the ritual wasn't finished. We need to know what's happening." Xavier's face twisted with dread. "You don't understand. It's not about stopping the ritual. It's about making sure they don't finish it." "What do you mean?" Zaina asked. Xavier opened his notebook. The pages were filled with bizarre symbols, frantic sketches, and notes scrawled in shaky handwriting. One drawing showed a circle of hooded figures surrounding a twisted shape, something that barely looked human. "They tried to summon it that night," Xavier whispered. "The fire, the disappearances, it was all part of it. The cult leader, his name was Bruce, believed that by sacrificing enough people he could control a powerful demon." He pointed at the twisted figure in the sketch. But something went wrong. The fire spread too fast, the ritual was incomplete, and the demon was left halfway in our world. "You mean it's still here?" Zaina asked. Xavier nodded. "Not fully, but its influence is. And Bruce's followers, the ones who survived, they've been trying to finish what he started ever since." "Wait," Lucy's face paled. "Are you saying the cult is still active?" Xavier swallowed hard. "That's exactly what I'm saying. And if they finish the ritual..." He didn't need to finish the sentence. A sudden thud came from deeper inside the neighborhood, like something heavy hitting the pavement. "They know we're here," Xavier whispered. "We need to move." Minutes later, Xavier led them to an abandoned house near the edge of the neighborhood. The windows were boarded up, and the door had a heavy chain wrapped around the handles. He unlocked it with a rusted key, ushering them inside. The air was heavy with dust and the faint scent of burnt wood. Crumbled papers littered the floor, and melted candles had pooled across the shelves. Strange symbols, like the ones in Xavier's notebook, were scratched into the walls. "You've been living here?" Lucy asked, scanning the room. "I've been hiding here," Xavier corrected. He knelt by a pile of old maps and pointed to a marked location. "This is where the ritual site is, where Bruce started it all." Zaina squinted at the map. "That's the park, the one with the statue." Xavier nodded. "The statue marks the heart of the ritual site. That's where they'll finish it." A soft knock came from the door, 3 slow taps, then silence. "Did you lock it?" Lucy whispered. Xavier's face twisted with fear. "Yes. Knock, 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 knock. I'll check," Zaina whispered, stepping quietly toward the door. Before Lucy could stop her, Zaina peeked through the crack between the boards. Her breath hitched. A figure stood outside, motionless. A tall man in a dark, tattered coat with a hood covering his face. His hands were clasped together as if in prayer, and in his palm rested a small object, a rusted locket, identical to the one Lucy had found earlier. "It's him," Zaina whispered. "The cult." The man suddenly turned his head toward her, his hood shifting just enough to reveal a twisted grin, his lips cracked and blackened as if burned. "He sees us!" Zaina gasped. The man's hand shot out and grabbed the door handle, rattling it violently. Chains clanked as the door shook, wood splintering from the force. "Back door!" Xavier shouted. The 3 of them bolted through the house, shoving furniture aside to block the path. As they reached the back door, they heard the chain snap and footsteps thundered into the house. They burst out into the night, sprinting down the narrow alley behind the house. The footsteps followed, heavy, fast, and unrelenting. "We won't outrun him," Lucy cried. "There!" Xavier pointed to a twisted, overgrown path, barely wide enough to slip through. They dove into it, pushing past branches and thorns. The footsteps grew louder, closer. Suddenly, the footsteps stopped. Lucy glanced back. The figure stood at the mouth of the path, watching them. He raised his hand and pointed directly at Lucy. "He marked you," Xavier muttered in horror. "They won't stop now." "What does that mean?" Lucy demanded. Xavier's voice shook. "It means they need you for the ritual."